Greetings and welcome to CitizenAY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Thank you for joining us this evening. I've had to do one or two things. Apologies for running slightly late, but I want to talk about this particular issue here. I'll just bring it up. We're going to talk about Tinubu and the impending release of documents come the 2nd of May as per a U.S. court ruling. Let's get into it. This is going to be a short video. Just going to read it. So there you have Tinubu there, um, when he was younger and when he's older. Okay, now this goes back to the court case in New York, if I remember. So, no, I'm not quite sure, but it's in the US anyway. So it says, US court orders FBI, DEA, IRS to release bombshell files on Tinubu's 1990s narcotics investigation. Implications for 2027 election rock Nigeria. So it is quite a big deal. We're just carrying the news and reporting what has been said, and it's important to just state that. In a stunning legal twist that could shape the political destiny of Nigeria ahead of the 2027 general elections, the United States District Court for the District of Columbia has delivered a bombshell ruling compelling major U.S. law enforcement agencies to release confidential information tied to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu from a purported federal investigation in the 1990s. The report reads on like this. Judge Beryl Howell issued the order on Tuesday, stating unequivocally that continued concealment of the information is neither logical nor plausible. The judicial pronouncement dismantled the controversial GLOMA responses previously used to shroud the records in secrecy. The report goes on to state, at the center of the legal firestorm is American tech entrepreneur and transparency advocate Aaron Greenspan. In June 2023, Greenspan filed a Freedom of Information Freedom of Information Act (FOIA), a lawsuit targeting the executive officer for U.S. attorneys, EOUSA, the Department of State, the Federal Bureau of Investigations (FBI), Internal Revenue Services (IRS), Drug Enforcement Agency (DEA), and the Central Intelligence Agency (CIA). According to his filings, Mr. Greenspan accused these agencies of systematically violating FOIA by stonewalling requests for documents relating to purported federal investigations into President Tinubu and associate named Abiodun Agbele, something like that, or Agbele, one of the two. From 2022 to 2023, Mr. Greenspan submitted no fewer than 12 FOIA requests across 6 U.S. agencies, seeking explosive records regarding a joint investigation involving the FBI, IRS, DEA, and U.S. attorneys for the northern districts of Indiana, and Illinois. These records allegedly pertain to charging decisions involving money laundering linked to a heroin trafficking ring operating in Chicago during the early 1990s. In each of the FOIA requests, Greenspan specifically demanded criminal investigative records concerning 4 named individuals allegedly associated with the drug ring: Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Lee Andrew Edwards, Muiz Adegboyega Akonde, and finally Abiodun Agbele. Not quite sure the pronunciation there. In response, all 5 agencies invoked the controversial glamour response, an evasive legal maneuver where the agency neither confirms nor denies the existence of the records. Greenspan challenged this at the Department of Justice's Offices of Information Policy, but the OIP upheld the refusals. Unfazed, Greenspan took the battle to the court on June 12th of June 2023. In Nigeria, June 12 has a significance. It's the time, June 1993, elections, of course, if you recall, when, of course, the Babangida government truncated the wishes of the people, denying Abiola his right to be the president of Nigeria. That's why June 12th is very significant for us in Nigeria. But of course, we're talking about 12th of June 2023 here. Okay, naming the FBI, DEA, IRS, EOUSA, and the State Department as defendants in a landmark suit. He later amended his complaint to include the CIA, challenging these agencies' identical global response. In a dramatic development, on the 20th of October 2023, Greenspan filed an emergency motion seeking an expedited hearing. He argued that the Nigerian Supreme Court was set to hear the pivotal arguments contesting TINUBU'S election victory just 3 days later. Despite the urgency, the motion was denied for not meeting the requirements of emergency injunctive relief. Nevertheless, the same day, President Tinubu himself formally moved to intervene in the case. He cited strong privacy interests concerning his confidential tax records and other documents from federal law enforcement agencies that fall within the Privacy Act or exceptions to FOIA and should not be disclosed, he argued. The defensive move reignited attention on a decades-old allegation that in 1993, Tinubu forfeited a staggering $460,000 to the U.S. government after investigations traced the money to narcotics trafficking operations. This forfeiture resurfaced prominently during the 2023 presidential elections petition tribunal when Tinubu's rivals Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi challenged his eligibility. Their suits were eventually dismissed in a unanimous ruling that affirmed Tinubu's presidency. Now, Judge Howell's new ruling threatens to unearth the past once more. He ruled that the global responses offered by the FBI and DEA are improper and must be lifted, declaring the agency's rationale for secrecy neither logical nor plausible. I read this earlier on, but it's restating that particular key definition of key explanation by the judge, Howell, right there. Howell emphasized that the FOIA allows requirements to change global responses on two fronts: by disputing the claim that the disclosure would cause cognizable harm, or by proving official acknowledgement of the information previously. Greenspan did both, in the opinion of the judge Howell. Greenspan's winning argument revolved around four pillars. One, the DEA had already confirmed investigating Agbile. Two, both the FBI and DEA had acknowledged investigating Tinubu. Three, and the privacy arguments concerning Tinubu were outweighed by the public's right to know. Very key point. Let me do something about that. I'm going to read that again. 3, listen. Any privacy arguments concerning Tinubu were outweighed by the public's right to know. Please remember that point. And the CIA had acknowledged records related to Tinubu. However, CIA scored a narrow legal win. Judge Howell ruled that Greenspan had not proven the CIA had officially acknowledged the existence of or non-existence of records responsive to his FOIS request. IA request, beg your pardon. As such, the CIA's global response stands in that instance, of course. Yet, the fight is far from over. Greenspan's remaining 5 FOIA requests are now being scrutinized under the cross motions for summary judgment. he has narrowed the focus to global responses, reductions, and withholdings related only to Tinubu and Agbele. The court ordered the involved parties, excluding the CIA, to file a joint report by May 2nd, which is just around the corner, May 2nd in 2025, just a couple of weeks away. And so it says to file a joint report by May 2nd detailing any unresolved issues. This sets the stage for a possible release of damning documents that could have severe implications, not only for Tinubu's legacy, but for Nigeria's political future. I think this is going to be very, very weighty. If it does reveal the record, that it could really change a lot of things right now. I mean, once it's revealed, only time will tell. Among the most shocking exhibits presented by Greenspan was a verified 1993 complaint and an affidavit from the DOJ in the Northern District of Illinois. The documents detailed how the U.S. sought civil forfeiture of Tinubu's funds held at the First Heritage Bank, citing links to narcotics trafficking. So these are records that are states that funds held by Tinubu are linked to narcotics trafficking. Again, I'm just reading a report. I'm not making any judgment. We're just stating what's there. Kevin Moss, a special agent with the IRS, authored the affidavit. Moss, a central figure in the investigation, outlined how Agbele was arrested for selling white heroin to an undercover law enforcement officer. Agbele, in subsequent interrogations, identified Muiz Akande, linked to Tinubu as his uncle and landlord. Okay. So, DEA sources described multiple heroin sales by Agbele with the assistance of a confidential source, A. Confidential, in quotes, source A. The DEA lured Agbele into a sting operation where he sold 1 ounce of white heroin to a law enforcement officer working in an undercover capacity. So this is we're going into the nitty-gritty of the allegations against President Tinubu of Nigeria. They are weighty. So in damning detail, the affidavit stated that there is probable cause, believing the funds in certain bank accounts controlled by Bola Tinubu were involved in financial transactions violating U.S. narcotics and money laundering laws. These accounts, according to Moss, were directly linked to proceeds of drug trafficking. The documents added that the investigation stemmed from a broader probe into money laundering of the proceeds of heroin distribution organizations in the Chicago area, based on intelligence from the IRS, DEA, and FBI. With the court now mandating transparency, President Tinubu may find himself forced to answer questions he has long dodged. The prospect of declassified files publicly detailing his alleged involvement in one of Chicago's most notorious drug rings has shaken political observers across Nigeria. This is unprecedented implication for 2027. This is unprecedented legal development. This unprecedented legal development could become a political earthquake by the 2027 presidential race. If the declassified records further implicate Tinubu in drug-linked financial crimes, it may damage his administration's legitimacy and cast a long shadow over the ruling All Progressive Congress APC. It could also fuel opposition narratives, embolden legal challenges, and intensify scrutiny from civil society groups demanding political accountability. The potential impact is twofold. 1, legal, and 2, political. Legally, Tinubu may face new transnational pressures and possibly U.S. travel restrictions if more damning evidence emerges. Politically, the opposition, especially Atiku Abubakar, Peter Obi, and their supporters could use the revelations to galvanize support and potentially disqualify him or weaken APC's 2027 prospects. With the May 2 court deadline looming, all eyes are now on Washington. What gets unsealed may reshape not just Tinubu's legacy, but the course of the Nigerian democracy. And then, of course, the question remains, can President Tinubu be stopped before 2027? So that's what was in that report. I wanted to just read it in its entirety. It's very much to do with this long-standing allegation of $460,000 found in the Heritage Bank in the name of the now President Tinubu's account, allegedly, was linked by several detailed revelations by the source A, or I believe, one of the drug enforcement agency staff or colleague or member, or and this is something that needs to be cleared up. We keep saying it, there has to be accountability from the top down. Nobody is excluded, and this again reemphasizes why we are saying that we, the people in the communities, we need to begin to participate in our governance. Not in English, not in Igbo, not in Arabic, but in our local languages. Because for too long, a lot of the work that they write, a lot of the constitution is written in foreign languages, which is of no benefit to the local people. They don't understand it. Whatever those who are in power tell them is what they will accept, because that's what it says in the book. And why I'm saying that we need this constitution written and translated into our local languages is because it gets the people closer to the governance and to be able to hold them to account using the powers of sovereignty. Section 14.2 states, for example, sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives all its powers and authority. That's what it states in the constitution. So that's the power we're trying to engage people, encourage people to exercise. We must make every level of our governance accountable to us in our own language. That is the biggest most important thing we can do right now, to ensure that there is proper accountability from the local government to the federal government, including the legislature, the judiciary, and the executive. All the three arms of government must be made accountable to the people in our local languages. I'm saying that passionately, of course, because that's my field. That's an area I'm really keen on, to make sure that the people in the communities begin to participate in the governance in their local language and hold the elected officials who are meant to serve them accountable. This is really the thing that we need to do. But anyway, enough of that. What I just wanted to show you, of course, is, so May 2nd is fast looming. Today's date is what? The 14th. So we got another 16 days potentially. And then, in about 18 days roughly, we will be seeing the decision whether to unseal it or remain. We'll find out. But if it's unsealed, what is the ramifications for the 2027 elections? And will the civil society groups be able to galvanize and demand that the president be, detail and explain why he did what he did, assuming that the report comes out and actually establish the $460,000 was indeed drug money found in President Tinubu's Heritage Bank account. Anyway, what are your thoughts on this? You are, of course, listening to CitizenAY, the platform where we speak truth to power. I'll be back later on. Thank you. Please subscribe to us on YouTube. Hit notification button, give us thumbs up, and help us reach more people. For now, I say bye to you all. Thank you so much for listening. Please do share. We welcome super chats as well, and let's have your views on this very important reading of the impending unsealing, likely unsealing of the report on the $460,000 narcotics money, linked to narcotics money that was found in the bank account of Bola Ahmed Tinubu back in the 1990s. For now, I say thank you very much, and let's hear your views. Thank you, and bye for now. Don't forget, before I go, I just remembered, I'd like you to subscribe to us on YouTube. Oops, sorry. No. Sorry, just leave it there. Give me a minute. Oops, what's happened here? That wasn't supposed to happen. Give me a minute. Okay. Oh, okay. Please go ahead and subscribe to us on YouTube. Hit notification button, and of course, give us the thumbs up. We really do appreciate your support. Thank you for watching. You've been listening to CitizenAY, the platform where we speak truth to power about nation. Thank you, and bye for now.